buy into it without even necessarily knowing why. That always intrigued me. I see how we do certain things, like we wear certain brands. My partner here, he has on Ralph Lauren polo, and I mean, a lot of people wear certain things and they don't know the origins of it. And that always interests me. I always thought to myself, like, if I can be the man behind why people do things that they do and not necessarily reveal that it was me, that would be ingenious. So I knew that entertainment was one of the most powerful mediums where people gravitate towards, and you can subtly sell almost practically anything. That really got my interest, and when I was doing, my primary focus initially was music. When I was doing music, I realized very quickly that money on the front end with music isn't necessarily there, so I had to revise my strategy. I had to not necessarily just focus on the craft of music, but I had to figure out a way to monetize my skill set first.
Wait a minute. You're coming up with some magical words here. Okay. How exactly did you learn all this? That's right. It's quite interesting. Chris, if I'm incorrect, I mean, he could be teaching a class on how to monetize his skill set.
Oh, absolutely.
That's quite interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, just experience. I mean, I think I got a lot of my know-how just by experience. I mean, I started selling candy in school. Like, it was just, I understood at very young, like, if people knew you had something and they needed it, you can make money from it. You just got to make sure you position yourself. So when I was doing music, what I did was, the very first thing, I put out a mixtape with one of my artists that I had signed to a management deal, and instead of just promoting his music, I printed up about 5,000 flyers. What I would do is I would put his music on the front end of the flyer, and I would put services on the back end of the flyer. If you need promo, you need flyers, you need studio time, you need whatever you need, we can do that. That way, when I was promoting his campaign, it wasn't just costing me money, but it was a potential return on that investment. So that way, other companies, other music people, any entity that needed the services that I knew I could provide, that I was already providing for my artists, I could do it for them and constantly make an income. After focusing on that for a while, my artist relationship, it was just not efficient enough. The artist wasn't as serious as I would like him to have been. So I started shifting my focus. I ended up getting a job because I was investing so much money and not enough was coming in. So I got a job and I couldn't do it. It just wasn't me. I felt like, man, I got so much potential.
So you're telling me you went back just because you thought I had to pay for the bills?
Absolutely.
You went back and had to put some money on the table.
For sure.
And you realized I can't do this anymore.
Oh yeah. But it was a vehicle, and I understood that. I understood that even then. Like, I'm not above working for somebody else.
Of course.
Kind of goes back to what we talked about, the skill of I'll do whatever it takes, right? I mean, sometimes you're running your business during the day and you're delivering pizzas at night to keep the lights on while you're still building your thing.
And Chris, it seems like Shaquille, this is a prime example. You use the word bootstrapping a business. Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of bootstrapping, which kind of comes from the term. The term comes from when they used to have straps on the boots and you had to literally pull them on and pull yourself out of the mud by grabbing those straps. So literally using the resources that you currently have to start. There seems to be this trend with some young folks. That's why I love his attitude and his mindset. There's some folks who say, I've got this idea, now I need money. So the idea is they expect to get paid while they figure things out versus no. You know what? Use what you have. You have a car. You have hustle. You can go out and get customers you can pre-sell customers. You can do a lot of things to generate income now based on what you have. If you're not a good steward of a little, and can you show me that you're a good steward of a lot? Hey, I went from $0 to $100. Imagine if you gave me $1,000, what would happen? So the idea of using what you have right now, it clears the clutter. One thing I love about the idea of bootstrapping. It completely clears the clutter of business, and it essentially makes you focus on the most important thing. That's the customer. Look, how do I get somebody to pay me today for the value that I can create today, versus waiting for the field of dreams strategy, which is if I build it, they will come.
Yeah, that sounds like, Shaquille, exactly what you were doing. You had an opportunity to be working with that that gentleman that was the producer or the artist, and at the same time promoting him, you're able to promote other opportunities to make money.
Absolutely.
So guys, real quick, and I know Colby's sitting here patiently. Colby had thought of some questions as well for you, regarding his entrepreneurship background. Colby, I'm just going to get you back into the show here to speak up.
Okay, yeah, sure. So just a couple of questions. What is the best book you've ever written? Read?
I was gonna say, man, I didn't even have a chance to write that thing yet. Oh man, I mean, I read so many great ones, man. You know what? I always say this because I think this is attributed to a lot of my initial success. You know, I think that the value of a book depends on where you are. You know, but I really valued Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Absolutely, yeah. The Rich Dad Poor Dad completely transformed my mindset. You know, because when I had the going back to the job scenario, I found myself getting comfortable. You know, because as an entrepreneur, I never had that check that I knew was coming. You know, it was always, look, I just have to make it happen. And when I got a job, I felt good knowing for a fact, okay, I'm about to get paid. The idea of that really feels good. And when I read Robert Kiyosaki's, as a matter of fact, I didn't even have time to read it. You know, like I'll be completely honest, I listened to it on YouTube. You know, because man, I was going to college full time and I was working a job, and my commute back and forth was 45 minutes there and then 45 minutes back. I literally would leave at like 7 in the morning to get to work and then get back home at midnight exhausted. So I would listen to it on my commute, and Rich Dad Poor Dad completely transformed my life. I listened to it twice. After the second time I listened to it, I put it in my 2-week notes.
Expert or attaining that level of industry expertise.
Network marketing, and also marketing in general. You know, I realize what makes my specific target market move. You know, and that's what I focus on, man. And the salesman got power. You know, I realize that it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If I can sell it, I can be involved in it. You know, so my primary focus is getting people to buy in, whether it's purchasing a product or purchasing a movement. You know, that's where my expertise.
Well, you disagree and you say they're not. Colby.
No problem. So the first one I have is NDAs. A lot of entrepreneurs will get an idea and they'll want to go talk to somebody about it. Are NDAs a good idea? Because I've heard opposing opinions. What's your idea on it?
Absolutely, I use them. They're hot. Right. Absolutely, man. I mean, information is everything. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
NDAs.
Okay, so take on equity partners, hot or not?
Yeah. I think that's hot. Once you launch the business, it's not so hot. You know, like once I catapult and I'm going in a certain direction, man. Look, listen, I would rather pay money than to shell out some money for my end game.
Fair.
Period.
All right, I think this one's loaded because I think I already know the answer. But business plan, hot or not?
Man, see, this, okay.
Because you seem like the kind of guy that would sit for 18 months and work on a business plan before doing anything.
Man, nah, man, not at all, man. I think it's important to have some type of structure, man, but nothing out. It's all about the grind. You know, in my opinion, it's kind of crazy because in school they had me write up the business plan. But man, every time I launch into a business, man, I'm on go 100%, man. I figure if I can get 100 people to buy in, or if I can sell 100 of these things really, really quick, then I know this business is going in the direction I can go in. You know, so structure is cool, but I think that results are cooler.
I'm going to quote that.
That's awesome.
That is spectacular. Like that. So I'm going to say it in the shorter term than what I use. I like that. Structure is cool, but I think results are cooler. I'm going to take it one step and use this one. I'm going to say profit over perfection.
Man, that's it.
No,
that's
awesome.
I just laid it down a little bit.
That's
so
it.
You just dropped some knowledge.
I did drop some knowledge. Did you hear it? But
my toes hurt.
I'm writing that down right there.
Profit over perfection. Profit over perfection.
You know what? I want you to send word to your moms, because he came to drop bombs. So
that's
can
it.
you send word to your mom? Right?
Man,
all right, I'm gonna have all these 90s references going on right now.
Because that's what lift people up when they.
Where did you get it from, Shaquille? My point is, did you have a person that guided you? Is it just something that was innate? Have you always been like this? Was there a turning point?
Man, absolutely not. I was antisocial in school, so it's kind of crazy. But
so, what was the paradigm shift? Where did this happen? Because this is what people want to hear. They want to know, hey, this guy's got a ton of energy, clearly, but not everybody can do that. Was there something that happened in your life, or somewhere that you had this shift where this changed?
Yeah, man, to be honest, man, I it feels like it's natural, you know, like, but I started to tap more into it, you know, once I recognized how important it was. Like you pointed out right now, it's just one of those things that happens often. You know, like, especially when I put myself in a position to be heard, people like, hold up, man, wait. You know, I actually was at a seminar one time out in LA, and they were shooting testimonial videos, and the guy that was shooting the testimonial video, really excited guy, you know, a lot of energy. You might actually remind me of yourself, and and he was recording the videos of almost everybody. And then when I shot my video, he stopped. He said, "Man, you got this natural vibe. Like, man, I really got to figure out what it is you do." And at that moment, I realized, okay, if I really put myself out there and really show how I am when I'm amongst the people that I'm most comfortable with all the time, man, I'll get that same comfort. You know, I'll become best friends with people immediately just based off my vibe.
So the positive reinforcement that
Absolutely.
you've been getting continues to feed into the beast
Absolutely.
that we know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's it. That's exactly it.
And one thing I'll just throw out real quick, because I know Shrimp Tank, we do a lot with, you know, our cause being for young people in entrepreneurship, and there's a theory out there that entrepreneurship is for the young, and I think he epitomizes that in a lot of ways. You know, for example, just a couple quick points on that, because there's nothing wrong with, I know, wisdom and expertise, and there's a lot of things that don't replace that. But, you know, I know 18 ways a business can, you know, this idea is going to fail. I know 18 examples of failures. You don't, right? You say, look, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it no matter what. The amount of hours that a young person could be, the upside, you know, I could live in a basement and eat ramen noodles. There's a lot of reasons why, you know, young people like that can outperform their older counterparts.
100%. You know, I know this time is just flying by, guys. I want to make sure Colby gets another question out there. Colby, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it popular or not to bring friends into business with you?
Man, it's not
That's a
as
good
popular as
question.
people would think. Man,
It's easy. It's easy.
See,
it's accessible.
That's
It's not
true.
easy, but it's necessary. You don't know that reference, do you?
Yeah, well,
No, you don't. Never mind. I just thought I'd throw in another musical reference. Anyway, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I had to jump in.
just based off experience with friends, just because you have the relationship with them, that doesn't necessarily mean that they want what you want.
That was Ice
You-
Cube, by the
you-
way. Just
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Ice Cube. Man, I love Ice Cube actually, man. It's kind of crazy.
keep going.
Yeah, but I know a different Ice Cube. But anyway, yeah, man. Friends. I mean, if they're gonna basically be a vessel and help you, that's cool. But man, from experience, I've noticed that you don't get the best performance just because you had a prior relationship out of people.
Fair. And guys, you know, we are coming close to the end of the show, so I want to get two things out before we get to the end. We got to get to the plead the fifth.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you've come this far and you have to see, look, this nice gentleman next to you here, he has tremendous fangs that come out with the plead the fifth. It's kind of like Jerry Maguire when Roy Firestone had Cuba Gooding Jr. crying, you know, when he was talking at the end of the movie, when he was talking about his family. We got to get to our next segment, guys, because we are wrapping up soon. So we're going to go with the plead the fifth. Shaquille, let me be crystal clear about the rules here. You get one plead the fifth. I said that very serious. You get one plead the fifth, and that's where you do not have to answer. I will be very simple and nice with the first one. Your most hated competitor.
Oh,
Man, myself.
I was actually thinking.
Oh.
Whoa, deep answer.
Yeah, man. I'm.
That was a knee jerk.
That was
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
Yeah, appreciate
That was delicious.
That adjective was crazy.
So, what is the thing that you are most afraid of?
Man.
You see the fangs?
Man, not being worse off than I was yesterday. You
Wow.
know, like I'm
Insightful answer.
Yeah, I'm all about improving. So, you know, if I'm in the same place I was, man, I feel like that's losing. You know, I don't know where my journey's gonna lead me, but I know through business, you know, it's one thing to have a friend and then start a business. It's a whole other thing when you start a business and it's with really great people, and then you develop a relationship with them, and then you find out like, hey, you're not so great, you know, as a person.
Right.
You know, you are a good business person, but not a really great person.
Spectacular answer.
Yeah,
Colby,
great answers.
we're coming close to the end. Colby, we'll give you one swing here.
And another answer.
Another plead the fifth. Another plead the fifth.
Biggest waste of time.
Biggest waste of time. Man, I got one plead the fifth, so I mean I would throw that out there for that, but I mean I still feel comfortable answering the question.
Please, you don't have to do it. We
You
just
know.
give that to you in case you're not
You
comfortable.
have the
You don't
option.
have to do it.
Man, my biggest waste of time, relationships with girls.
Hey, did you hear the theme song? I don't chase girls, I chase dreams. So,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
that was in our theme song, our opening theme song.
Well, you
for
know,
the show.
and the best part of it, that was an opening theme song that Shaquille, when I explained to him, as one of your students
Yes.
from KSU, and I
That's
said
right.
it's a white rapper, Shaquille almost fell off his chair
Yeah.
laughing.
Yeah, that's right.
So we have to
Hey, man,
be clear.
Yeah.
He got some nice raps though, man.
It wasn't
I like
bad. It wasn't
yeah,
bad.
It was
No,
Okay, I am.
Yeah,
He got some good
absolutely.
production.
No, Rhodey is awesome. I'm very appreciative of Rhodey and respect his artistry very much.
Well, I think we all agree with your answer, by the way, except Hannah in the corner of the room. Other than that, we all probably agree with you. Sorry, Hannah.
Well, I'm not saying all girls. I'm not saying all my relationships. I'm just saying I wasted a lot of time with.
Yeah, I
some.
think you just messed up your chances with Hannah, by the way.
Hey,
You just messed up.
Well, I'm not. Look, listen now.
Hannah's engaged. Hannah's engaged. I have to look out for Hannah. One final question,
All right,
Chris.
your biggest weakness that's keeping you from better results.
Man, structure. Nah,
Structure.
But yeah, you asked that question earlier, man. I don't even think it's a weakness, to be honest, but I do recognize it's important, and I think that strategic alliances, that's a personal weakness of mine, organization and structure. I'm all about action, go, but sometimes, especially when you're growing, structure is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you have other people involved. Like I don't necessarily need a lot of personal structure with myself, but in the business entity it's necessary. My personality type don't bring it to the table, and that's problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, that's covered in the Vanilla Ice video, so when you go Google that.
What's the name of the song? What's the
instead
name of the
running-
Vanilla Ice song?
Oh my gosh, what kind of question is that? You don't even know the name of the song.
Are we talking about Ice?
Yes.
Ice Baby? Is that the
Yes,
one?
of course.
Wow.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I know this song.
Okay.
I just
because
never.
you
really
go,
dissected it.
you stop, collaborate, and listen, and then what do? Anyway, I'll leave it to you to go look that up.
Wow. And I believe you will.
I'm writing it down. I wrote it down. I
Okay.
wrote stop,
All right.
collaborating, listen.
Yeah, if you
'cause
want
that
a
was
lecture
what I
on it, I had a student stand on a chair and for 3 hours read every lyric to Ice Ice Baby. And we talked about how that applies to entrepreneurship. And I know you're thinking like, wow, 3 hours is not enough time. I know, you're right.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, guys, listen, we've had a great show. Shaquille, I can't thank you enough for coming out here
Man,
today.
Thank you for having me.
You provided tremendous input for the show. I really enjoyed it. Chris Hanks, I can't thank you enough for co-hosting. Colby Warren, wonderful.
Yeah,
Good luck
thanks,
with the new
Colby.
app.
Thank you.
Listen, we
Congrats,
are,
man.
again, for the rest of the month, you can hear us any of the podcasts at shrimptankpodcast.com. Of course, we are here 4 to 5 live. Thank you so much for listening to the Shrimp Tank.